Hey everyone, I wanted to welcome you to week 3. We made it through the first 2 weeks of class. And I don't know if you can see, you can kind of look outside my window here. But boy, we had a nasty storm during week 2. So I extended the deadline for our assignments so everything is due on Sunday, and I may extend that deadline if I get some other emails from students. I know a lot of students lost power. It was a crazy storm. The house around the block from us, huge tree landed on the neighbor's roof. So I know it's been a little hectic, but we made it to week 3. And so I wanted to create kind of just a short video. I'm going to kind of put this up here. You can enjoy seeing what looks like my closet here. But I want to just kind of create a video today to kind of talk about the next step in rhetoric. By the way, before I even start things, got to just tell you I love students' comments. Discussion boards have been great. I've read papers. They're fantastic. And I love everyone's definition of rhetoric. Everyone's definition of rhetoric is fantastic. It seems that our class likes to use the word persuade. But as of week 3, I'm still going to maintain my definition of rhetoric. And I'm still going to hold that rhetoric is words that are used to manipulate, to deceive, and to con people. And I'm going to add to our next level understanding of rhetoric and argument. So rhetoric and argument use 3 things. The rhetoric and argument use logos, pathos, and ethos. And some of you may be familiar with these terms. Some of you may have never heard these terms before. So I want to just kind of create a short video where we talk about logos, pathos, ethos. So the first one is logos. And most students can kind of, if they take a guess what logos means, they can kind of look at the word, they can kind of get a sense of what the word means. But logos is an appeal to logic. And if you think about it, if you're going to define rhetoric like the rest of class does, the ability to persuade, it would make sense that I'd want to make an appeal to logic. Sometimes an argument, we kind of think in terms of an argument. An argument oftentimes uses facts. Well, facts is a way for rhetoric to use logos. So logos is an appeal to logic. Then the second term is pathos. And so pathos is an appeal to emotion. And so if you think about it and you accept my definition of rhetoric, which is still words used to mislead, deceive, and con people, but if you were going to use rhetoric to, in fact, mislead, deceive, and con people, it would make sense that we'd want to make an emotional appeal. We're all emotional beings, so why not try to appeal to our base instincts and appeal to our emotion? Now, I sometimes try to see if there's a way I can create a mnemonic, so a way for students to remember that the P stands for emotion. So I sometimes think of the letter P and I think of passion. Well, think about someone who's very passionate about a topic. They're very emotional, and you're much more engaged by someone who's passionate rather than someone who's really boring. So I sometimes try to think of the P as passion. I sometimes think, we're getting ready for the Super Bowl. I think of the P as the New England Patriots, how they have passionate fans. They're all sad that they didn't go to the Super Bowl. Or the P might stand for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have the craziest fans waving their yellow towels. But I kind of want to just create a way, can I remember P is passion, passion is emotion. Ethos is the last one, and that's why sometimes students hear the word ethos, they see E and they think E is emotion. Ethos is not emotion. Ethos can be 2 things. So ethos is character and authority. So ethos is the character and authority. And I know that that's the one that can kind of sometimes confuse students, but if you think about someone's character and authority and how important it is, I always like to use in a ground class, ask students, would you rather have a class that is taught by me or taught by an instructor who graduated from Harvard, who has a PhD in ethics and argument? And the only reason why I use that is because if you think about Harvard, someone who graduated from Harvard has a great ethos because, Harvard's one of the best, if not greatest, schools in the nation. So I always think of that way, try to get us to remember, ethos can be character or authority. Sometimes ethos can be defined as ethics. I will not define ethos as ethics in our class because later in the term we may talk about something called stasis theory that deals with ethics and morals. So I keep ethos as ethics as something separate, but you may come across a time when you hear ethos as ethics. So I just want you to think about the three things that we can talk about rhetoric and argument using. Rhetoric and argument use logos, which is an appeal to logic, pathos, which is an appeal to emotion, and ethos, which is character and authority, sometimes referred to as ethics. There's another video that might be a little more professional. You can kind of take a look to get you a deeper sense. And then there's a discussion board question that asks you which one of the three terms you think is most important. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you write in week 3. I think our class is going great, so feel free to visit me during my office hour or email if you have any questions or concerns.